Have you ever dreamt of playing golf on some of the best world courses like Pine Valley, Cypress Point or Royal Melbourne? But what if all human life were wiped out of Earth and our home planet had become a wasteland? Would it still be an attractive place for playing golf? Welcome to watching VideoGaming Father's video review of a dystopian sports puzzler called Golf Club Wasteland. Can you find here good level design allowing you to play golf in a very untraditional environment full of unexpected obstacles? Is there any story explaining how mankind got into such an unpleasant situation? Isn't the game spoiled by the inaccurate controls or incredible difficulty? Does the game have atmospheric audio visuals? And is it suitable for family playing? Just bear with me for the next few minutes to get all essential information about this game in my video review.
Which was most evidently... The family and I had already put down roots in Tesla City by the time the great catastrophe really hit. The corporation knew my...
Okay, this story then, because this kind of game definitely deserves some explanation, doesn't it? After the great ecological catastrophe, the ultra-rich moved to Tesla City on Mars. Wow, doesn't it sound like a lifelong dream of Elon Musk? I mean the Tesla City on Mars, not the ecological catastrophe, of course. But let's move further. Now citizens of Mars take charter flights to Earth and play golf in the ruins of civilization. And this is all you get from the story in the beginning. But don't worry, you will be piecing together the full story of how humanity fell through from three distinct sources. Details from lone golfer's story, who's come back to Earth for one last game, the radio nostalgia from Mars, broadcast that gives a glimpse into the lives of those who escaped, and the narration of a secret spectator watching from a distance. Especially the stories of survivors in radio nostalgia from Mars help to build up the game's great post-apocalyptic atmosphere. Details from the main hero's story are a little bit disappointing though. They are presented by just short notes in a diary that are simply not strong enough to contribute to the oppressive atmosphere of the game. On top of it, you can unlock them only if you manage to get the ball to the hole by a determined number of strokes, which was not a good design decision. Story just should be available for all. But thanks to great radio nostalgia from Mars, you won't regret it much as it is the main source of information anyway. Now let's have a look at the gameplay itself. Although there is some text description in the first level telling you what to do, there is actually not much to explain. Golf Club Wasteland is a 2D side-scrolling game, so your hero is on one side of the screen and the hole, where you are supposed to get the ball, is somewhere on the other side. Your task is to choose the appropriate power and angle of the stroke to get the ball to the hole on as few attempts as possible. This is not a big surprise, as this is just the principle of every golf game, isn't it? The main thing that distinguishes the golf game from the common one is in its name, the Wasteland. So forget about the trimmed golf courses where the most difficult obstacles are the water, sand or bushes. Golf Club Wasteland is rather kind of adventure golf but in a way bigger scale. So the water and sand are just the beginning. Soon you will need to get the ball through the cargo containers, to get the ball to the hole at the top of the crane, through the luxury yacht with a pool, or to the running elevator. You will be playing in various environments like roofs of the skyscrapers, balconies, deserted shopping mall, museum or office building. And the environments will sometimes surprise you with their interactivity. Sometimes you need to hit a big red button to open the door, break the glass with the ball, get the ball to the tube to make it appear on its other end, or even use the help of a squirrel or seagull, as you are surprisingly not the only living creature in this wasteland. The environmental variability and the level design are indisputable pluses of the game. But is there something else that can enhance the gameplay? Unfortunately, the answer is negative here. Your character doesn't develop in any way, so there are no skills or statistics that could be improved. There is also not any ranking system or online leaderboard where one could compare his results with the other players. So the only motivation to proceed further is to discover new pieces of story and to see what kind of surprise in the form of level design the authors have prepared for you yet. You can try to get the ball to the hole under the par in each level, but there is no explicit information what the par value is, which is another minus for me. And the only motivation to get under the par is to unlock a couple of new sentences in your diary discovering another part of your hero's story. Which is simply not enough, and your hero's story is not so interesting, cannot be compared to reading the diary in some other atmospheric games, and as I said before, I do not find unlocking the part of the story by your results the best game practice. So I have found the game content rather insufficient. Now let's take a closer look at something that might support a good gameplay or on the contrary totally ruin it. The game difficulty and controls. And let's start with the controls, as they are quite a controversial part of the game. On the first side they are very simple. Just holding the left mouse button while dragging the mouse to select the power and angle of the stroke and releasing it while ready. The only other thing you can do is to move the camera either by keyboard or mouse while holding the right button to view the whole level as the later levels spread through the several screens. Let's get back to the controversy of controls. One would expect that power of stroke will change in a linear way as you drag the mouse. Not in the Golf Club Wasteland. It seems that it changes by the logarithmic or exponential or some other non-linear curve. Sometimes the power that seems just a little bit stronger by the length of direction indicator than in your previous attempt suddenly catapults the ball to a much longer distance. Or on the contrary, just a little bit weaker stroke makes the distance passed by the ball much shorter than in your previous attempt. This unpredictability of ball behavior makes you apply a trial and error approach which spoils not just the golf-like feeling, but also dramatically increases the number of strokes needed to reach the hole. Definitely not good for a game that depends on the preciseness of the strokes, as the environment is very ragged. And the game difficulty goes hand in hand with the control's accuracy. Usually you have an idea how to get the ball to the hole, but get frustrated by continuously trying how many millimeters less or more will finally make the ball trajectory as expected. Luckily, in the story mode you have unlimited attempts to get the ball to the hole, and you can even skip the level if you get frustrated, and the only penalization is that you won't uncover the few lines of the main hero's story. There is also challenge mode where you need to beat each hole under par, and even iron mode that almost makes no room for mistakes. 3 levels of difficulty are fine, but honestly, I cannot really imagine playing the game in a different mode than the story one. The game is rather designed as a relaxing experience to which the game audiovisuals contribute a lot.
Contact us via the usual internet channels and leave a short message outlining your contribution. Once your story idea is vetted and greenlit by corporate, we'll track you down to organize a time to record you. Please note that not all stories are accepted, and we are not permitted to give out criteria, so stories...
The game graphics with mainly dark colors lightened by violet neon signs creates a perfectly melancholic atmosphere. Both foregrounds and backgrounds show that something bad happened not a long time ago. You can see damaged roads, buildings, factories, or silhouettes of military structures, and even some world famous buildings like Berliner Fernsehturm or Brussels Atomium in the background. Graphics are simple but good looking with the attention to details. Music and sounds are mixed together in the Radio Nostalgia from Mars broadcast. The game is narrated by the voice of a radio announcer. I found the man's voice a little unpleasant to listen in the beginning, but I got used to it. The radio station plays music of various genres. You can find here slow tracks, the medium ones, and also many dynamic techno-like tracks. You also listen to the stories of many people from different countries, and even songs and poems sung and recited by them in their native languages. The game audiovisuals just perfectly capture the dystopian atmosphere and are one of the game's greatest positives.
Protocols strictly at all times when returning from extra habitat activities. No suit, no life, as we say.
Radio nostalgia from Mars.
So, is Golf Club Wasteland the game experience that one shouldn't miss, or is it just a waste of time? Here are the game pros. 3 storylines with at least 2 more to follow, inventive level design, variable environments, perfect dystopian atmosphere, beautiful graphics, great music narration, and fully dubbed people stories broadcasted by the Radio Nostalgia from Mars. And here are the game downsides. Not very interesting story of the main hero that needs to be unlocked, unpredictable power of strokes that changes by some non-linear curve, absence of skills or other RPG elements that could be developed, no information about the parts, and no score or online leaderboard where one could compare his result with others. The game costs €10 on Steam and GOG, which is quite much, and I would recommend waiting for at least 50% discount this time. Honestly, I'm hesitating if I should recommend this game for family playing. If you expect a good arcade golf experience, better look somewhere else. This game is more about audiovisual experience, and the golf itself rather feels like a byproduct here, which is mainly caused by the unpredictable power of your strokes that spoils the golf-like feeling. As the game is rather story-oriented and due single-player experience, there is no local multiplayer in the game. This game could be much better with the predictable controls, some RPG elements, some score system with online leaderboard, and also the presence of some form of local multiplayer as a separate game mode. I have still enjoyed this game, but ironically, more because of the game atmosphere and radio broadcast than the golf itself. I'm therefore giving the game thumbs up, and VideoGaming Father's index 6+ out of 10. Still recommended, but with some bigger discount. Thank you for watching my video review, and please do not forget about thumb up and subscribing to my VideoGaming Father's channel if you have liked it. See ya!
A few recorded words. Anything.